Europa. The icy moon of Jupiter. A frigid world that would turn you into an astronaut popsicle. And an atmosphere that would take your breath away. Literally. Because Europa's atmosphere is so thin, it's almost non-existent. And while it's mostly made up of oxygen, this oxygen isn't breathable for you. You just wouldn't be able to inhale it in this extremely low-pressure environment. And this frozen world has a dark secret. Deep under its thick crust of ice, it might just hide life. That's why we're sending a member of our team on a mission to explore Europa and find out if anything can survive in this unforgiving environment. Chase, we need you on this one-way trip to Jupiter's neighborhood. Mission Control, this is Chase. Orbiting Europa and ready for landing. Did you know it would actually take you, like, 6 years to get here from Earth? But luckily, I'm already here. And I love finding new alien buddies, when they're not trying to kill me. Alright, Chase. Initiate the landing sequence. Already on it? Rico, start the landing sequence, I totally forgot. Landing sequence initiated. 500 meters, 1,640 feet, and descending. 400 meters, 1,300 feet. 100 meters, 330 feet. Touchdown confirmed. Oh, that's right. It's bright. Oh, my eyeballs. That's strange. Europa is 5 times farther from the sun than Earth, and gets much less sunlight than we do. It must be so bright because of Europa's icy surface. All that ice is highly reflective. That, plus an almost absent atmosphere, could make the light feel very harsh. So just use the protective tinted visor and your eyes will be fine. Chase, what's your status? Yeah, I'd say Europa is pretty similar to Earth. If Earth had no atmosphere, was covered in ice and had absolutely no interesting oceans to see. So in short, it sucks. What if Guy? I'm freezing out here. Yeah, you'd need an advanced thermal insulation layer in your suit to keep you warm. The surface temperature on Europa is about 145 degrees Celsius, 230 degrees Fahrenheit. And it can get as cold as 220 degrees Celsius, 364 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also bathed in radiation. That's because Europa orbits so close to Jupiter. And Jupiter has a massive magnetic field that traps a lot of high-energy particles inside it. Your spacesuit would need to be able to withstand that too. Great. Europa is one of the 4 largest moons of Jupiter. It's still slightly smaller than our moon, but it's a lot more exciting. Mainly because it has the potential to host life. Looks pretty lifeless, if you ask me. Well, it is, on the surface. Look, life needs 3 ingredients to exist on any world. The first one is liquid water. Well, Europa has plenty of that. NASA's Galileo spacecraft, which spent 8 years orbiting Jupiter, gathered some data on Europa, too. And that data led scientists to believe that this moon has twice as much water as all of Earth's oceans. Well, I regret to report that your scientists' data is wrong. I don't see no water, only ice. This mission is a waste of my precious time. No, it isn't. You don't see them because these enormous oceans aren't on the surface. They're deep below Europa's thick, icy crust. That brings us to another ingredient for life. Energy. On Earth, life mostly gets energy from the sun. But that's not the case on Europa. First of all, because Europa is so far away from the sun. And secondly, because if there is life on Europa, it's likely we'd find it under the ice where there's no sunlight at all. Europa gets its energy from the effects of tidal heating. And it has Jupiter to thank for that. Yeah, the enormous gravity of the solar system's biggest planet is constantly pulling on Europa, bulging and cracking its ice. This causes friction, and the friction heats this moon from the inside. That's why Europa's subsurface ocean doesn't freeze over like the rest of this frigid world. Europa might also have hydrothermal vents on its ocean floor, just like Earth does. These vents spew out heat, energy and chemicals, potentially creating a habitable environment around them. The last ingredient for life is chemical elements. Most living things are made up of stuff like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. And based on the data we collected about Europa, this moon's got all that. But of course, no one has ever been on Europa to confirm this. Until now. And what's that? Yeah, Those are Europa's famous cryovolcanoes. These volcanoes don't erupt with lava, but with water and ice. Ice volcanoes? That's sick. Oh my god. Okay. So how do you suggest I find life here? This ice looks thick. Yeah, you'd have to drill through it. And you'd need special equipment. Like a high-performance drill designed for extreme cold, electrically powered by a portable nuclear generator, lightweight with a heating mechanism and a sample retrieval system. Right, great. So just like the everyday stuff that you would just happen to carry around with you on your spaceship. No, I'm serious. I happen to have that on my spaceship. I have the best drill in the universe. I'm so excited to meet who's down here. Hold on. The chances of seeing any kind of life with your own eyes are slim. Because that life, if it exists, is likely microscopic. But if you get a sample of that salty water, well, you can examine it and maybe find traces of microorganisms. That's not how I pictured this mission. But since we're here, let's do this. While you can't improve the odds of seeing aliens on Europa, you can increase your opportunity of seeing more of Chase's epic adventures on What If? We've already traveled with him to Titan, Venus, even Uranus. And there's so much more we want to show you. That's why we launched our What If Explorers Club on Patreon. That's where we'll give you the top secret behind the scenes, extended director's cuts, mind-blowing art, epic merch discounts and our endless love and gratitude. Support us on Patreon to get exclusive content and help us send Chase to his death. Over and over and over again. Hey! I don't feel so good. I think I might puke. Your body temperature is rising. You're experiencing the symptoms of radiation poisoning. I did warn you that radiation levels on Europa are high. Even in your spacesuit, you'd still feel headaches, nausea, dizziness, all the fun that comes from radiation sickness. And all that after spending only a few hours on this moon. If you don't return to your shielded spacecraft immediately, this exposure will kill you. Huh? Oh, no, I'm fine. No, I'm good, Rico. I just need to lie down for 5 minutes. That's a bad idea. You need to return the samples to the spaceship. Right, the samples. I have to get the samples. This is still so sick though. The impact force from the cryovolcano has damaged your spacesuit. You're losing oxygen. I should have subscribed to the top tier of What If's Patreon. In the extreme conditions of Europa, without the full protection of a suit, you'd only have a few minutes to get to safety. In just 1 minute, severe frostbite would damage your exposed skin. After 2 minutes, you'd start shivering. Cue hypothermia. Another 10 minutes later, and you'd lose consciousness and freeze to death. Oh, wait. Scratch all that. Looks like Chase's suit lost all the oxygen and he just suffocated. Now we'll never know if those samples had any life in them. Yeah, we'll have to try this search for life again. Maybe next time Chase can set up a base first before going out there and exploring things. But that's a story for another.